when a man hangs out with a woman, two things can happen. Either he holds his position and guides the sexual creative energy between the two towards something, or they stop, pitch a tent, and hang out. The allure to pitch a tent and hang out is amazing for a man because at this very moment, he's in a zone. Let's pretend that there's a synergy with the woman. They're going to be in a place of what they call love, what they call bliss or ecstasy or whatever you want. And for some time, he can put aside life, responsibilities, reality, his manhood, and everything that comes with being a man. He gets to check out. That's why he gets to check out. The woman is waiting for the man to want to check out, because the moment he wants to check out is because there's a weakness in his system. Checking out means what? Let's pretend that your nervous system represents a circuit of energy. If the nervous system is tight, sealed, what's checking out? Checking out means there's a break somewhere and it leaks. That's the checkout. So the man who's trying to do his things and he has to compensate and hold himself and be tense so that he's the man and he can have some form of motion and circulation and he can be in some kind of action to produce and fulfill some kind of flow. Deep down, what is he looking for? A moment where he could just check out. Comes in the woman who's there smiling and promising you all this bliss, who's going to just go like a parasite. She's going to go right where that little space, that little weakness of yours is, and give you that option to check out. And you're going to pitch your tent, you're going to hang out, you're going to make love with your girlfriend. But is that really what you're doing? Or are you checking out? So I don't have a problem with being married. I don't have a problem with having quote unquote a girlfriend. I don't have a problem with you being polygamous. I don't have a problem with you being single. I don't care what you do. What I'm talking about is that your job as a man is to be healthy. We've covered this before. Check out the videos before. That means your nervous system is integral. There's no leaks. That's called health. If there's a leak or there's a tendency towards a leak that you need to patch with attention, with a compensation and so on, it's certain that at some point either a woman is going to come or some spirit of a succubus is going to come, for those of you who don't want to have sex. She's going to come anyways, to give you what you're really looking for, which is a high. That's what I laugh at. I don't laugh at it because a person is weak. I laugh at it because you thought that this is love. You think that this is bliss. You think that this is being a man. I'm like, no. As a man, you are never allowed to check out. Never. We may be weak. We may have weaknesses. We may have fatigues. I respect this. I'm no different. But to understand that a man's power comes from fullness, which means you never check out. You're never off. It's an illusion. And when you are with a woman, and in your mind what you're looking for is to check out, so technically what you're looking for is to come. That means to get out of yourself. Which means is to check out. And for some time, I could just unload myself. And she's going to receive you and she's going to say you're amazing. And she's going to give you all that space and all that quote unquote love and tenderness. But you just depolarized yourself. You just emptied yourself. You went from full to empty. That's not a man, that's empty. Now, explain to me, why would a man do that? This is not just about coming, maybe some of you will not be able to follow what I'm saying. Because you want to check out. You want to get fucking high. You want to disconnect from reality. You do not want to deal with yourself, with your life, with your responsibilities, with anything. And you use the woman as that gateway drug to get the fuck away from yourself. However, if you're sober and you stay with yourself and you spend some time with the woman, you'll realize, yo, this is work. Because if 1 second I'm not strong, she coming at me. Second of all, to make my energy circulate, with myself. The energy is circulating. When she's there, it's accentuated. Then I have to deal with her and her restrictions and her blockages. So now I have to work to facilitate circulation of energy inside of her. Then it creates a sexual potency, a creative potential. That creative potential means I have to create more now. I have to build more. That's what you people don't understand. For you, sex is an unload. You asked me once, what's an orgasm? I'm going to tell you what's an orgasm for most people. Most people are tense. Their nervous system is full of compensations, full of toxins. The energy doesn't flow. And for them, an orgasm is scratching or rubbing their nervous system so it could spit its resources outside so that you can get a sense of relief. And that's what people call an orgasm. Generally, that's what it is. It's you're tense and you want to remove your tensions. But you don't release the tensions genuinely by actually solving the problems that have generated the tensions in the first place. You have no idea of that, neither do you care. All you want is to unload. That's what your average person considers as an orgasm. In fact, I can explain to you physiologically if you like. You have an organ, call it the phallus. You take the tip of the penis and you scratch, depending on your sensitivity. Scratch. What do you think the nervous system is going to do? It's an over data. What's the system? What's the nervous system going to do? This is the sacrum. What's S5? S1, sacrum 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with the nerves coming from the lumbar spine, being stimulated, with your mind, trickling. All of this is getting hot. There's a pressure. Energy can't go out. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to blow. It's going to snap. It's like a fuse. You call that an orgasm. Is that really an orgasm? Well, in the way that we understand it, we call that an orgasm. It's not an orgasm. This doesn't work. In the way we understand it, it's an orgasm. But the reality is that you just overstimulated your nervous system. It created pressure, liquids, overload of neurotransmission. Too much. It's going to snap. You know what happens? The body finds an exit and just comes. Relieves the pressure. Now the system is safe. That's what your average person considers as an orgasm. He's just getting out of himself due to overstimulation. So if I get back to what I was talking about, I just took that tangent because that was a question. Your average fellow, your average man is looking for a way out of himself. So he hangs out with the girl to find that way out of himself. And she provides that, I'll be your Kleenex, you just unload in me. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're actually maintaining integrity in your nervous system, and you're holding your power, and you hang out with a girl, these two creative energies are coming together, which means something new must take form. Something must be birthed. Either a new potential in the relationship, that means you go further and deeper, and we've just harvested more creative energy, which is work at the end of the day, which means for you as a man, more responsibility. Or whatever you're collaborating on is going to go from here to there, more responsibility. Then you have to deal with her and her tensions because you're the one who's facilitating the relaxation of her nervous system, which means that these tensions that need to be released, that are associated to whatever they're associated, you're the ground. You're the guy to hold it down, in other words. That means more work for you. So you don't have that when you pitch a tent. When you pitch the tent, you rub each other, you stimulate your nervous system at the surface, rub. Maybe you rub her good, maybe she gets rubbed good, and then guess what? You get your release. That's what you call an orgasm, and that's what you call sex. In general, for most people, that's what it is. So it's not I make fun of it. This is what I tease you. That's the guy behind the camera. At some point, you're going to see him. That's what I tease you about, because it's a secret desire to check out. And you're like, well, what's wrong with checking out? I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with nothing. You do whatever you want. You do whatever makes you happy. But there's a price to check out. Number one, she's not going to respect you. Even though she's going to be so happy that you decided to pleasure her and be in that lovely tent space where you're just like boundaries and you're just like sucking off of each other, right? She's so happy because you've just checked out and given her all your juice. And she's going to get high as fuck. This is the word. She's going to get high as fuck with all your energy. And she's not going to be requested to build or create or birth anything. It's like drugs. That's it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm speaking a little sharply because this is a deep subject. Most people know nothing of this. Most people don't understand what I'm talking about. And I'm talking to you, the dude behind the camera that you don't see right now. I'm specifically using you as a fulcrum for this conversation. She's just going to get high. Listen, if you go to a woman and you in your power and you're like full of yourself, that means there's fullness, and you present yourself in front of her with sincerity and vigor, and she comes with all her tensions and her limitations, her job, she has to receive you. So let's say you're big like this and she like that. She can't handle that unless she expands in order to be able to receive you. That's a lot of work for a woman. How does she go from like this? That means energetically, her nervous system's potential at this very moment due to the constrictions. How does she go from here to be able to receive all of you, or at least a little more of you? She's got to release the tensions in her system. That means all the things that are affecting her, perturbing her in her mind, all the things that are holding her and keeping her just like constricted. She has to let go of all those tensions so that she can receive you. That's work. Woman doesn't want to work. You know what she wants? She wants to give you that, a small little space that cannot contain you. And then she's like, come on, show me what you're made of. Come on and push and push and push and try to break through this. Try to break through this. Try to break through this. Break my resistances so I don't have to relax. So I don't have to face what's really happening inside of me. So I don't have to face my tensions, psychic restrictions, psychic limitations, psychic relations. I don't have to deal with any of this. So I don't have to actually work, because relaxation is the hardest work you'll ever do, because you got to actually solve problems to relax. That's what relaxation is about. She don't want to solve her problems, but she wants the experience of relaxation, but she cannot have it. So she wants you, the idiot, to go there and fuck her brains out so that you plow through like a truck, a Canadian convoy trucker. You just fucking demolish her quote-unquote restrictions, which of course you can. You may, because you're endurant or she's feeble physically, tire her, and her physical tensions can't hold and they'll release. Psychically, she hasn't released at all. Zero. You could potentially do that, so maybe she'll get a sense of something broke through, maybe, and then she'll have what she calls quote-unquote an orgasm. And you'll be like, I'm the man. I'm like, you're not the fucking man. You're an idiot. You got used by her, and she didn't in one way, shape, or form show up and actually relax and actually deal with herself and actually expand herself. You fucking put a dynamite and you blew it up, and now you're like, look, there's a big cave. Now, I understand the appeal. I ain't got nothing against that. I'm just saying, well, that dynamic doesn't actually take sexual power. It spends sexual power. You're not harvesting sexual energy. You're not taking powers. You're not cultivating by relaxation, by releasing the nervous system, by using sexual energy to tap into psychic bonds, pay dues, pay respect, grow in consciousness, which creates an expansion, which makes the sexual energy grows, which means the creative possibility is greater than before. Nah, you go and you spend your money. So I'm going to tell you honestly, I don't like to spend my money. Not in this way. When it comes to women, I like to invest my energy. And whenever I invest energy, I want that energy to be greater and greater and greater and greater with each encounter. The point of what I'm trying to say is that's the boyfriend mentality. That's the so-called husband mentality. He goes to work, tries to outperform I don't know who. He's all compensated on a big inhale, and he's just like trying to do his thing, and then he goes home, and what does he want? He just wants to come. He just wants to unload. And she's like, yes, honey, just unload it all on me. I'll take it all. Just unload, yes, unload. That's what I'm here for. And then they call this some form of love, and they call this some form of bliss. I'm like, sure, fine. Whatever works for you. What I'm trying to say is, well, there's definitely more than that. Quote unquote, a relationship between a man and woman, whether it's boyfriend, husband, polygamous, poly, whatever the hell you want, doesn't have to be limited to that. Some people opt for this, and when they dive deeper into their nervous system and understand better how they function, they realize, oh, okay. I use this as an outlet. Yeah, but that's the whole point. We just defined that man is fullness. So fullness doesn't look for an outlet. If it grows more in fullness, it looks for places where it can create more. Create more isn't an outlet. It has nothing to do with outlet. It's create more. Then that fullness is going to expect of the women, whether it's 1 or 10 or 50, well, now I'm bigger. You need to be bigger. You need to expand more. So I'll be there to facilitate your process of expansion by helping you relax, by holding it down for you, by helping you navigate through your own restrictions and your psychic affairs, so that I can have access to a bigger and wider container so that we can increase our creative potential and can give birth to something even greater. So we're always in the space of work. Not work, I have a shit job that I hate. Work in the sense that work is prayer, and the purpose of work is to give birth to and bring something forth into this world that will help and serve other people. Now that's how you use your sexual creative energy. You don't wastefully dissipate it, because you can't hold yourself, can't contain yourself, and you need to spill out, thinking that that's manhood, and that this is the end all and be all of sexual energy. I'm all right. All right. No, you should be able to exhale on your own. Which is not to say that what I'm talking about in the path and avenue that I'm sharing with you doesn't have its moment of bliss. It has. It's compared to this bliss there. On this path, bliss is like 1 billion times greater. But it's never about checking out. But you do have moments of, I don't know, it's not check out, it's still points. You do have experiences that are so grand and silence you and move you at the depth of your being. When you leave that exchange, you haven't depleted yourself. You've been shown a greater potential. You're like, wow, this is possible. Wow, I got a lot of work to do to be able to expand myself all the more so that potential I can make it happen. Tell me that that's not work. This is pure work. Pure work, literally pure work. So, I don't have nothing against boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands. I don't care what kind of dynamic you have. The question is, how do you choose to use your sexual energy? And in order to be able to fully grasp what I'm sharing with you, you have to have a sense of how energy works, how your nervous system works, how you manage your energy, what is the correlation between your mind, what people call the unconscious mind, your body, energy circuits, its connection to life as a whole, its connection to the horizontal plane, meaning what's happening in the world. All of these elements need to become clear for you, just like it's code on a website code is clear for a programmer. All that has to be clear so that you understand yourself, how you operate, how you use your energy, and how to maximize things for yourself and others. For me, this is the basic of sexual education. And as you can see, it goes hand in hand with health building or understanding what health is about. It's inseparable. The issue we have is that people understand health, or I have the COVID, and now I don't have the COVID. Or I have this. No, that's not health. This is symptom management. We've spoken about this in other videos. Health building is about making your nervous system integral and strong and solid, able to sustain infinite amount of data within yourself, coming from the outside and coming from the world around us and from upstairs, meaning the cosmos, life at a bigger level. To be able to hold more and more power, and to be able to transform that power into a form of action. That's health. I don't think you can define it better than this, in my humble opinion. So sexual energy and health are inseparable. It's one and the same. So, again, to wrap up this question, I don't know if you're following me. I certainly hope you do. I don't have a problem with that you're a husband. If that's the kind of person you are, and that's your mindset is, you're designed this way, let's put it this way, and you find a partner that you can work with and collaborate with, who has a resonance, you have a resonance together, all great, enjoy. What makes you a simp, if we can borrow that language from the so-called manosphere, a simp, it means you a bitch, you worship her. If she's the one that gives you the release and gives you the escape of yourself, she's God. You know what gives me a release from myself? The flow. Not a bitch. The flow. I'm going to say that again. You know what gives me a release of myself? The flow. What is myself? It's this mind with all its nonsense and its noise and its crystallization, which you call a personality that you can give a name. In this case, it's called a shad. Yay! So when you go to see your girlfriend or that sim goes to see his wife, what is he looking for? To check out from himself. I don't want to deal with myself anymore. And he dissipates his energy with her. So technically, she's your God. She's the one that gives you repose. She's the one that gives you release. She's the one that gives you bliss. She's the one that takes you away from yourself. Great. So you're worshiping her unconsciously. And that could be with, even if you have 15 girlfriends, because you're that guy, right? It's the same. You just unconsciously told her she the man. Because if the man can't find repose in the flow, then he no man at all. There's not a moment that a man is not supposed to be in his fullness. And his fullness has to be ever expansive. Because the fullness that you have today, it's not full enough tomorrow if you're in the flow of growth. So where does a man find repose? In the flow. Now in the flow, sometimes I have encounters with the lady and I can enjoy myself. And as we've discussed before, the goddess can come and the goddess gives you gifts and boons and helps to replenish you and all those beautiful things. Yeah, but the flow is my God still. I don't worship her, I love her. Of course I love her. How could you not love her? She's beautiful and she's generous and she tends to you and she gives you a nice whatever it is that the goddess provides for you while you're on the flow and while you're going to the next level of the flow. But for your average simp, they're pitching a tent and this is it. He's going to pitch the tent, he's going to establish himself, and next thing you know, he's going to go from the tent, he's going to go hunting for carrots, right? And then he's going to come back and it's going to be like a little field around the tent. It's a fucking tent. You were supposed to be on a journey of manhood going towards somewhere. Of course, that doesn't count, nor do you even know what that is about. Now, your little so-called girlfriend pitched a tent and made you believe that this is paradise and this is the destination. And here you are now working exclusively for her. Because you don't want to deal as a man with the journey of manhood and where it takes you, and that you need to achieve mastership of the flow. So I have to apologize because in this little rant, it's a little spicier than usual. At least this is how it feels today. Maybe it's the green shirt. That's because, like I told you, I'm talking to my homeboy behind the camera. And we decided to film this and share it with you because this is exclusive stuff. So you're welcome. But yeah, so I don't have a problem with a guy who's got a girlfriend or a wife or feels that he needs 17 women. I don't care, whatever works for you. The point is, what's your attitude? And if a man doesn't understand the purpose of manhood and how do we achieve manhood, the true sense of manhood, which is not the accumulation of material wealth, which is not yours, which will be taken away for most of you in the next 2 to 4 years. This means nothing. That's not, you cannot define manhood like this. Manhood is the capacity to be full. And to understand what fullness means, you have to understand yourself, energy, how the body works, what you're connected to, what's the intent that guides you, and what's your service in this world. Because if you don't serve, why should the super intent, or that means the cosmic power, want to fill you if you're selfish and you don't give more? If you give more, it fills you more. The more you serve, the more it says, this is a good servant, let me give it more, and it'll help you grow so that you can become more full. So your average guy doesn't understand this, unfortunately. I hope that what I'm sharing is helping you understand. I feel it's necessary for you to understand. If you don't understand that, you're chasing something it's empty. You're getting tricked. You're getting fooled. Because what every man is looking for is that sense of fullness, which gives him a sense of power. But because the fullness is weak, they need to annihilate or crush other men so that they can feel superior. And need to conquer, quote unquote, more and more women to feel that their manhood is so full that they can have any woman they want. But they don't realize that the woman will just trick you because you're an idiot. She'll say, okay, let's pitch a tent and you can give it to me, honey, as much as you like. Yes, you're so amazing. Because she's using your energy while you're going to unwind in her like a fucking idiot that you are. She's going to suck that energy to sponsor her lifestyle. Fucking moron. She's sponsoring her lifestyle with your energy. And you know what you're going to get in return? Nothing. You're barely going to get a thank you, I really appreciate you, and you're amazing. Barely. And your energy, all that energy of yours is sponsoring her lifestyle, her habits, and she's using that energy to pay all her karmic ties like a fool that you are. And what you're going to get in return? I'm telling you, you're going to get nothing. She doesn't even know what she's doing consciously, and you're 10 times more dumb. You have no idea what you're doing. And it so happened that you're a super strong so-called alpha male, she'll be like, oh, you're so amazing. She's just manipulating you so that you can give it to her some more so she can continue to sponsor her lifestyle. So technically, she's like those like F1 car drivers, and your name is there. Not because you're God, not because you're a superhero. That's a tattoo of your name on her wrist. Nah, because you're sponsoring her. So I'm sorry. This is my humble opinion. Again, it's because of the guy behind the camera that this is a little spicy. You get like insight. You don't deserve this kind of conversation, but we still having it. Shout out to the guy behind the camera. Unless you start to grow up and understand that what we've been told about manhood is a goddamn fucking con to make you a good and better slave, to make you chase things that will never in any way, shape, or form empower you. Unless you start to discover and expand your understanding of things, you will always be a bitch while thinking that you're the man. And she will never tell you because she doesn't care. Not at this stage. She'll just, okay, cool, you give it to me. So now she's going to lay on her back and you're going to be one of those wild stallions, aren't you, right? You're the Italian stallion. Amazing. And you're going to go show her that you are a better dildo than the previous jigger. And you're going to go perform like the monkey that you are. And you're going to like try to like outperform whoever she fucked. And maybe she's got a long list, so you got a big competition, but nobody can compete with you because you're the god of dick. Yes, you are. And you're going to go fuck her brains out. In other words, you're going to break through her tensions. And the better you can do that, the more quote unquote she's going to have pleasure. Some of them at least. Some of them will find you disgusting, repulsive, will close out and push you away forever. What you didn't understand, though, is that attention is nature's system. It's nature's design to protect a system. And every tension has a specific purpose. It's intelligent. And in order to release attention, you can't force it, hack it, or cheat it. Because the defense is there intelligently to protect the organism. But you didn't care about that. You just went and fucking rammed yourself into it. Try to break through that tension because you're a superhero. She'll let you do that because she's going to get a release. Maybe. If you did a good job and if she's an accustomed slut. Maybe she's going to get a release. The tension didn't go away and you broke the law. And you don't know that because you don't know fuck all about natural law. You know nothing about karma. None of that, none of this stuff you understand. But let me tell you something. The tension didn't go away. It just went deeper and is hiding deeper. And when she's done fucking with you, and she goes back to life, the tension is going to come back with a little more bite. Because that's the nature of the game. The tension equals problem, and there's a problem in her psyche or whatever in her life, and there was no resolution. You ramming into her hasn't solved her problem, hasn't provided a solution. But what it did do is she now got a form of energy. So she can pay the interests on her loan. Loan meaning the tension, meaning she contracted some powers, and now she can pay, here, have some, and they give her a little bit of release for a couple of hours before they come back again. And you're the sponsor of her lifestyle, like I said. Listen, this is a lot of stuff. I'm sorry that we're sharing this. I'm not sure we're going to publish this video. Maybe the homeboy behind the camera is going to decide that he wants to give you a gift and he's going to give you that video. I don't think this is for you. I don't think you deserve this either between me and you. But anyways, this is what's coming out. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you'll watch, maybe not. Who knows? Let's see.